Microsoft's Q3 earnings release shows that its game business is still on the rise in terms of revenue, but that income generated by hardware has taken a significant year-over-year hit. Game-related revenue increased by $112 million year-over-year, a 5% increase, and came in at $2.36 billion for the quarter. Microsoft notes that it's an increase driven by software, particularly third-party titles, and subscriptions. However, not hardware. Revenue generated by the sale of X consoles fell 33% from the same period last year, a hefty fall. Microsoft chalks up to a decrease in volume of consoles sold. Revenue from software and services rose by 12% during that same period. It's worth noting that it's not surprising to see console sales take a hit this far into a generation's lifespan, unless rumors of next-generation announcements loom. But a 33% decrease in console-generated revenue is a sizable fall. The company as a whole brought in $30.6 billion in revenue during the quarter, a 14% increase from the quarter year-over-year, while operating income increased by 25% to $10.3 billion for the quarter ended March 31st.
2019
Electronic Arts is the latest major game company to announce that it will be skipping the press conference portion of E3, instead opting to double down on its only play event, the weekend before E3 itself. It's a move that, like Sony's before it, seems to lean into a community-first approach to hyping up upcoming projects under one that comes as E3. As impact is being called into question. This year, you will see less talk on the marketplace, with an event entirely focused on the heartbeat of the play, of our player communities and the games they love, reads the announcement. It says that, instead of the typical press conference, it will be hosting its free-to-attend e-play event on the weekend before E3, on June 8 and 9. Tickets for that event go live next month. But the company also says it will be directly live streaming content, like gameplay reviews, announcements, and developer insights throughout the weekend as well. This makes me the second notable game maker to essentially pull out of E3 as yearly festivities. Sony announced late last year that it would not have a presence at E3, and would instead focus on finding inventive opportunities to engage the community. SIE Worldwide Studios chairman Shawn Layden later touched more on that decision, saying that the industry itself had changed quite a bit since E3 days, lessening E3's impact. It's a change that the show itself has seemingly been trying to compensate for through recent decisions, like last year's call to open up a select number of passes to a typically industry-focused event to the general public, though that slight shift does not look to have been a big enough change to keep Sony indeed interested in the event. Starbreeze has announced that it is holding off on bringing Overkill's The Walking Dead to consoles, at least for now. Both the PlayStation 4 and Xbox versions of the games were due to launch on February 6, but have now been delayed indefinitely, with more details to be released at a later date. For Starbreeze, the decision to delay the console launch of Overkill's The Walking Dead comes during a rough patch in the company's history. Prior to its release, company leadership had previously touted the game as its biggest release since Payday 2, a game that, despite releasing 5 years ago, is still a top earner for Starbreeze. The studio had been banking on the success of Overkill's The Walking Dead to bring it back into the profitable range, but sales of the PC version fell short of expectations following the game's release. Starbreeze announced that it had initiated a program to reduce costs and sharpen focus on core business, including internal and external development, in order to keep what CFO Sebastian Ahlskog described as the company's important games alive and headed toward release. With the success of XCOM's relaunch back in 2012, a number of game developers have been looking to take their own stand at the turn-based strategy formula, resulting in the surprising success of Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle in 2017, and in 2018, the release of Mutant Year Zero right before the holidays kicked off. Thanks in no part to a foul-mouth-talking deck, Mutant Year Zero has managed to find an audience and a strong niche in the strategy game space, showing how even a stripped-back version of XCOM can deal well with the right tone and sense of polish. We have been enjoying the game over at Gamasutra, and were excited a few weeks back when game director Varley, designer and studio founder Skarin, and lead animator Calle Granstrom took the time to talk about their work over on the GDC Twitch channel. There were a few key insights from the trio about Mutant Year Zero's design and game balance, so we took the time to collect a lightly edited transcription of their most salient points. Read on for a look at how a bunch of Hitman veterans managed to make their own strategy game, Skarin, quite early on. From almost day one, we made the decision that we wanted to keep the stealth aspect as simple as we possibly could. The reason for that was we did not want the players spending any more time there than we needed to tell the story and let you explore the world. Because what we wanted to do was to do the stealth moments, set up for combat, while you are in real time, so we could speed it up a little bit. But if we started adding too much functionality to that, it would just slow it down again, right? So we made a decision very early on that we wanted to keep the amount of game mechanics that you can utilize in the real time to the minimum, and keep it very very simple. So that's shown for instance in the attention circles that we use rather than any vision cones or anything like that. We did not want people trying to sneak on a counter too much, spending time doing that. Skarin, yet, exactly that was the choice. It was either that or giving them. Whenever you get discovered, you get a little leeway time, as we would with them in Hitman for instance. The guy would come over and investigate. But like it was other problems right for balancing the game. So that was quite early of a decision, that we do not put anything extra that we not need into the real time. And as you can see, the attention circles here now, as long as you stay out of them you have the advantage, right? And that communicates very very clearly the idea, with the awareness zones that glow red as you approach, was that this should be a tense moment, but that you should not feel stressed about it. So to speak, you should feel like you have the time to check out the guy coming in on a patrol here, and see what's behind him, etc. before setting up. If it were vision cone based for instance, that vision cone might just bang, come all of a sudden as he steps from behind a building, or a car, or something. Granstrom, we did not want to make it something too skill-based. Basically, when you sneak around it should be more about making a tactical decision, rather than being stressed and making quick decisions. Varley, it was always a design that we wanted the stealth to not be Twitch gameplay, because the game is not Twitch gameplay at all. The game is very much about planning and making good tactical decisions, so the stealth had to feel like it was fitting that quite well. So the stealth in this game is much more about you finding good positions and working out. Maybe there's someone who's isolated that I can pull down without anyone else seeing. The very start of the game that you are just seeing now is very much designed to be a general introduction to stealth. so extremely obvious patrols of guys with low health walking around on their own. It's not very taxing. It's not very challenging, and the characters, when they talk, they have a hinting at least 2 or 3 times that we should investigate who's here, and we should sneak around first. So I would say that the first 20 minutes of the game is gently pushing the player into this kind of play style,